So I would just like to present Koenigsegg's latest creation to you here today. It's going on the concept launch tomorrow. We're very excited about that. We unveiled this car yesterday, and it's very much a passion project of ours at Koenigsegg because it's celebrating 20 years of producing Koenigsegg's. So this is my spec, and this is very similar to the first CC8S that we showed as a pre-production car in Paris Motor Show as well, with the same silver color. I think from my perspective we came up with something that is very recognizable as a Koenigsegg, very similar to the CC8S, but not retro looking. It's still contemporary today in my mind, especially given that the proportions are very compact and efficient and the aerodynamics is very good. The original car had a manual transmission, a CEMA 6-speed, a very good transmission that we lived with for many years. And I think there is an excitement in manual shifting, even though of course you get less performance than modern paddle shifters and even maybe automatic transmissions to a certain degree. But you are very much more part of the result of how the car behaves. And it is super light, super compact, super fast shifting from any gear to any gear. As fast shifting as the best dual clutch transmissions from the gear you're in to your pre-selected gear. But if you want to jump gears or you want to change to a gear next to the gear you're in but that is not pre-selected, it's kind of slow, like an AMT. But here, all the gears are pre-selected, all the gears have their own small clutches, and you can jump from any gear to any gear lightning fast with no torque interrupt in a much smaller, more compact package. And that's what we had at hand, that's what we need to comply with modern emission regulations and going forward. So we have achieved something that feels traditional analog but super sweet. So we're kind of coming up with a solution where you have the excitement, integration of your skills into the behavior of the car, but also the opportunity to just drive leisurely and focus on the driving with not manual shifting for the first time in the world of production cars. Also, this kind of different gear ratios for different settings is also a first, as far as I'm aware. As most Koenigseggs, you can take off the roof and put it in the front. To talk a little bit about performance, the underpinnings of the car is quite similar to the Jesko, but this car has more downforce than the Absolute. So it's a little bit harder sprung, but it's much softer sprung than the track-focused orange Attack over there. So it's kind of in between. So it's probably faster around the track than the Attack, especially since it has this foldable wing that can come up and do aero braking and give more downforce, which the Absolute does not have. But it will not be as fast around the track as the Attack. Top speed, again, somewhere in between because it has less drag than the Attack. It actually has a little bit less power than the Jeskos. They have 1600 horsepower, but this being a manual, and you might be with one hand on the steering wheel and one here, you don't want to have any sense of turbo at all. You don't want to surge or something with one hand. You just want this linear, normally aspirated feel and power delivery, and you really get that with these slightly smaller turbos. So this car only has 1385 horsepower on biofuel, so that's quite a lot for a manual, and it's probably the most powerful manual car ever created. So it's really a performance machine, even though it has this quite sleek, understated look. And the final word, maybe, you heard us revving the car here. As we have the clutches in the transmission for each gear shift, and we use those also for takeoff, we don't have a flywheel or clutch on the actual engine. So when you're in neutral, you don't have the inertia that's normally there or the weight. So we have measured this to be the fastest revving production engine in the world, which is quite exciting. So you have that super electrifying, blippable engine with tons of power and a really crisp, sweet analog shifting experience in a completely modern car, looking forward, running on renewable fuels to stay viable for the future.